The West is the most misogynistic place on earth. In the history of humanity, I've never seen a society that's more hostile towards women. You guys want to spell woman WOMXN. You tell our children that the man can menstruate, man can get pregnant, and women have penises. That gender is a social construct. That's what you teach in schools. You tell 13-year-olds that if they identify as a girl and if they choose to give themselves the pronouns of she, her, or they, them, or z, their, and that's what they are. You tell them it's okay that if a 13-year-old boy feels like a girl, it's okay to go on puberty blockers and get his penis cut off. You tell everybody out there that gender is just a social construct. Anybody can feel like whatever they feel like. And you tell them that it's okay for a biological male like Leah Thomas, like Fallon Fox, like Anne Andres, to compete against a biological woman in women's sports. You tell them that they can enter women's washrooms, women's private spaces, women's locker rooms and watch them change. You tell them that man and woman can be equal. But how the hell can you make XX equal XY? If you want a gender equality, do you know what you end up with? You end up with transgender. You still can't see that? You're being tricked into all of this? Men and women are different, and men and women will always be different. There can never ever be gender equality. The West glorifies women for being fat, for being morbidly obese. People like Lizzo can become a supermodel. The Kardashian families are the most successful influencers on this planet. The West is constantly sexualizing women. They want you to become porn stars. They want you to go on OnlyFans. Some women on OnlyFans, what I've seen from the stats, can make as much as $1 million a month. They're making as much as male professional athletes. Some of them are making as much money as Messi or Ronaldo or Mbappe. Because that's what they're pushing for. Because the porn industry generates over $100 billion a year. So this is what they do to you. Is this really feminism? Is this empowering? Is it empowering to have a million other guys watching you getting double penetrated on a Friday night? If a young woman posts a cooking video on her TikTok, she's gonna say, oh, today I made some pasta. That video might get 1,000 views. But if she posts a video of her singing a Taylor Swift song wearing a schoolgirl uniform, that video can get 100,000 views. Then if she decides to post a video of her wearing a thong or a G-string doing pole dances on TikTok, that video is gonna get 10 million views and over 1 million likes. Because that's what the algorithm loves. Anytime a young girl posts an extremely slutty video, it blows up all over the algorithm. And in countries like the UK, like France, like United States, and Germany, like Italy and Spain, these TikTok channels, they can get monetized. And it just becomes a source of income. Many of these women out there are making 6-figure, sometimes even 7-figure incomes just on their social media accounts. So acting like a hoe on social media, it's being glorified, it's being monetized. They're encouraging all the young women out there to act like sluts as much as possible. Is this really empowering, ladies? Is this really what you want? The West is the only society in the world where a woman can have sex with 50, 75, upwards of 100 men before her first marriage. Is that really empowering for you? Ladies, does it feel really empowering? For a guy to just have a one-night stand with you, for a guy to just doesn't give a shit about you, for him to just piss off in the morning and then never call you back and then never look at you in the eyes again? Is this what feminists are pushing for? Throughout 200,000 years in the history of humanity, there has never been a culture that's ever glorified female promiscuity. You will never see this anywhere else in the world. Do you know what happens if a Chinese girl sleeps around with 50, 60, 70 guys before getting married? She's gonna get disowned by her parents. Do you think they allow that in the Middle East? In Africa? In Latin America? No, it doesn't happen anywhere else. The only place in the world where you find this kind of behavior, it's in the West. Because you guys treat women like trash. You guys treat women as if they are sex toys, as if they're all disposable. That anybody can just walk in and have a one-night stand and just walk right out. To all the young women out there, you know that this kind of behavior, it's very bad for securing a man in the future. You know it's not good for you. Yet you encourage other women to do it. What is it that you're really looking for? Do you want the high school quarterback for hot and steamy 15 minutes just for him to piss off and then never call you again? Or do you want a guy that respects you, that loves you, that's gonna take care of you for the rest of your life? A very small percentage of men is sleeping around with all the women. You want a guy that's what, 6 feet, 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", makes 100,000, 150K, 200K, must be athletic, must have an 8-pack, must be a good looking, must have charm, must be good to me, must be respectful to my family and my parents. What percentage of the man do you think that actually qualifies in that category? I'll just give you one example. You want 6 feet? In the United States, 14.5% of the adult male population 6 feet or above. And that's just one requirement. The man you're searching for, almost every woman wants that guy. It's no wonder why they're cheating. You turn away all the good guys. You don't talk to them. You ghost them. You put them in the friend zone. You reject them. And you complain about the ones that you choose. Okay, listen, between the ages of 18 to 30, over 60% of men are single. The entire population demographic of adult male population, over 50% of men are single. So the vast majority of men are available, but you don't look for those men. You only want the top 1% guy that's going to cheat on you, that's going to disrespect you, that's going to hate you, that doesn't give a shit about you. You really have to think about the guys you're letting into your life and the choices you're making. If you look at what's happening in Europe in just the past year and a half since the invasion of Ukraine began back in March of 2022, and since the sanctions came in from the West, when the hydro bills went through the roof during the winter of 2022, the number of women signing up for OnlyFans and becoming prostitutes in the UK, in France, and in Germany has more than doubled. So this is feminism for you. You want to be empowered. You want to go into the workplace. But all you ended up doing is selling your body to men. How is this empowering? The moment you ran into the slightest financial difficulties, you start to looking for a man to give you money. And in exchange, you give your body away to them. You wouldn't be struggling so much with paying the bills if you had a boyfriend that can help you with your financial burden. But you don't want the average man that's 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", that's making 50K, 60K a year. The reason why they want to push feminism, as in my 26-minute video, I talk about my mom going from millionaire CEO to a bankruptcy, because women control 80% of the consumer spending. And because of this, women generate 80% of the debt. See, men and women are very different. As soon as you give a broke guy $20 million, guess what? He's going to be sleeping around with 18-year-old Instagram influencers. That's what the guy wants. All of you ladies that wants the guy that has all the success in the world, there's no way that guy will ever be loyal to you. It's just that's how men are, okay? I'm telling you. And but see, when the woman makes money, guess what's gonna happen? I see it with my mom and my sister. When my mom had an extremely successful business, you start going shopping. Let's go buy Gucci. Let's go to Zara. Let's get Louis Vuitton. Let's get the most expensive purse in the world. Let's get the most expensive perfume in the world. So this is why all these, you see these porn stars, these influencers, these OnlyFans girls, it's only a couple years after they retire from the business, they go into bankruptcy. Women are 10 times worse at managing money versus men. This is a fact. Ladies, some of you might think that, oh, I'm not like that. That's because you're broke right now. But you can't help it. As soon as you get a bit of money, and just look at all the successful men. Look at Justin Moeller. Look at Andrew and Tristan Tate. Look at Tiger Woods. Look at almost over 90% of professional athletes. How many of them have been loyal to one woman? There's almost none. That's what men are like. And for women, as soon as you make money and you start becoming disloyal to your own bank account, you start spending money, you start going on shopping sprees like crazy. Do you know how much Ronaldo spends on his girlfriend? 100,000 euros a month. And that doesn't include the money that he has set aside for his kids. That's just for his girlfriend to go on shopping sprees every single day. Listen, ladies, if you want that successful man, if you want a man to take care of you, listen, let the man go to school. Let the man go to universities. Let the man go to colleges. Let them make the 6-figure salary so they can take care of you. And in exchange, what do men value the most? Men value youth. Men value beauty. And men value purity. Right now, body counts for women going into first marriage is rising higher than ever before. Women are getting older and older as they're entering first marriage. What makes you think that a 30-year-old woman will be able to compete with an 18-year-old woman? If you really want to secure a high-value, successful man, you gotta do it when you're young. There's a reason why there's a term in China, right? It used to be when a woman's 27, she's called a shengnu. A shengnu is a leftover woman. But because now there are tens of millions of leftover women in China, they changed the age of a shengnu to 30. And even now, there are tens of millions of leftover women. And ladies, that's all on you. As I mentioned before, in China, especially amongst its millennial and Gen Z population, there's over 40 million more men versus women. This is due to a gender selective abortion and child infanticide. So it's because you're turning away all the good men. You don't want these. Many of these men are well above average. You don't want them. You just only look at the top 1, top 2%, and you complained about these guys cheating on you. That is all on you. A woman has all the choices in the world. A man has no choice. He takes whatever is given to him. See, what happens is when you have so many women entering the workforce, when you have so many women going to universities, back then, the reason why your fathers and your grandfathers, they made so much money, because value comes from scarcity. Okay, when you only have a select group of men graduating from universities, for example, if they want to look for a government job, the government has no choice to give them a really, really high-paying job. And the government cannot force them to work overtime. They have to have a solid pension, and they have to have solid benefits, because that's all the choices they're given. But what happens is, once you let all the women into the university and into the workplace, you double the number of graduates coming out of colleges and the universities every year, right? So this doubles the number of job applicants. Now all these private corporate firms, all these government positions, they have twice as many candidates to choose from. So guess what? They can afford to pay you less. They can force you to work more hours. They can take away parts of your pension, parts of your benefits away from you, because now they have options. So when you only have one gender going to universities and graduating and getting the credentials, they can get the good paying job, and they don't have to work as many hours, and they have time to spend with their families, also providing for them. But this is what feminism has done since the woman's coming into the workplace. You want the man to make 150K, 200K a year. Guess what, ladies? You're the ones going to universities. You're getting your master's. You're getting your doctorate, and you enter the force. Now you have become that man. You're making 150K, $200,000 a year, right? And you've taken that position away from that man. Now that man has to settle for something less. Maybe he has to work at a factory making 60K a year. Now he's no longer able to find the woman of his dreams. Look at all the successful women. They all end up single, childless, and alone. Look at Jennifer Aniston. Look at Taylor Swift. Once again, the value of labor comes from scarcity, okay? All of you have been lied to since day one. Like I said, what happened with my mom when she filed for divorce way back in the year of 1989. In China back then, there was almost no such thing as divorce. Nobody knew how the future was going to turn out. But for all the millennials and the Gen Z young ladies out there, you have seen how devastating this is. You know that single-parent households cannot work, especially single mother homes. I say that because there's almost no single father homes. Right now in Canada, 38% of children growing up are raised by single moms. And the divorce rate is over 50%. Nothing good has ever come out of this. There's nothing empowering for a 50-year-old woman to be divorced with 3 children and being on antidepressants. Almost all the modern women today, you all want to wait at the finish line. You all want to wait for that successful man. Well, guess what? That successful man, he's not going to commit to one woman. And in the rare occasions where that man wants to commit to just one woman, he's probably going to want an 18 to 22-year-old virgin, because that's what man values. They don't want a 30-year-old woman that's been ran through. You have to ask yourself, what is it you're really looking for, ladies? Because men want a marriage, but most women don't. What do I mean by that? Many women out there today, they ask you a man to spend a minimum 3 months of his salary on a wedding ring. So if a man makes 100K a year, after tax, that's roughly 70K. And you expect this man to spend $25,000 on a wedding ring. If a man is making 70K a year after taxes, where do you expect him to find the 25K for the wedding ring? And you want the man to pay for the wedding 100%, despite the fact that you call yourself a liberal, you call yourself a feminist, you believe in equality. If you add let's say the wedding is going to be a minimum $30,000, and you want the man to pay 100% for the honeymoon, let's say that's another $20,000 on top of that. So his entire year of salary, that's for a guy making 6-figure incomes after tax, that has gone to the wedding, to the honeymoon, and the wedding ring. The guy's got nothing left. And on wedding day, trust me, I've seen so many cases. All the groom has to do is to show up. The day it's all about the bride. It's about she has to look like the most beautiful person in the world. She has to have the most perfect dress, the most perfect venue. And everything has to be perfect just for her. and she has to have her favorite flowers, and everything has to be decorated according to her liking. The guy doesn't have a say in anything. What is it that you really want? Because ladies, all I hear is that you just want a wedding. Because nowadays, it's the same thing in Asia, right? You don't have to get married to have sex. You don't have to get married to have children. You don't have to get married to live together, to raise a family together. So what is the whole point of the marriage to you? Do you know what marriage is? Do you know what men want? For the men out there who are looking for wives, they're looking for a woman that will respect them. They will look for a woman that will submit to them. They will look for a woman that's 100% feminine, that's 100% based, a woman that's going to take care of the family, to raise the kids for the man, while the man's out there building his career and bringing home the money. They look for a woman that's not going to constantly complain and fight and being up against them all the time. They want a woman to teach their kids how to play the piano and how to ride the bicycle, and read bedtime stories as the kids are going to sleep. When the man comes back home from a 12-hour shift, when he's 100% exhausted, he just wants there to be a dinner at the table. He wants their wives to tell them how much they love them. That's all a man is looking for. Almost all the men out there that's looking to commit to one woman, they're looking for a marriage. So, ladies, let me ask you this. What is it that you really want? Because from what I can see, 90% of the women out there today, you just want a wedding. You want that one special day that's being centered around you. None of you guys want a marriage. This is why divorce rates it's at an all-time high. This is why marriage rates are at an all-time low. This is why relationships have never been weaker than before. This is why over 50% of women in the West will be single, childless, and never get married. Many of you will end up on antidepressants. It doesn't matter. Yes, you can become a porn star. You can go on OnlyFans. You can be a social media influencer. You can make $1 million, $5 million, 10, 20, 30 million. But guess what? You're going to buy 50, 60, 70, or even 80 years of loneliness. Because your value, your youth, your beauty, it's a constant depreciating asset. Ladies, please really think about this. Thank you guys for staying till the end.